just 1992, you end up in Andrea Moda, which is a sort of reborn Coloni. Is that a way of describing it?
I never knew it was Coloni, to be honest with you. I always thought it was Syntac.
Oh, really? Well, tell us how tough it was that year to go from a Benetton where you're at the front to an Andrea Moda.
I'm sitting at home in Brazil counting my money. I got this phone call from a very good friend of mine that does all the apartments in Monte Carlo. He says to me, Roberto, Alex Caffey doesn't want to race in Brazil. There is this team that doesn't have much of a car, but they need a driver to show up. I said, well, how much are they willing to pay? I said, I don't know, Roberto, how much you want? I said, well, if he has $15,000 cash on my arrival, I'll be that driver. But he has to pay me cash on arrival. Otherwise, I leave. So he arranged that with whoever it was. I think it was Andrea Moda himself. I got to São Paulo. I seen this car in pieces everywhere. And they were really trying hard. The mechanics did a fantastic job in putting those together. Great people. And that's what's good about racing, the mechanics and everybody in the team, they push hard. And they don't care to sleep late. They don't care not to sleep. They will do anything for what they do. So I slept in the engine box while they were finishing the car to wait to make the seat. I think I made the seat around 4 o'clock in the morning again. And all they had to do is, I think FIA say they had to do at least 3 laps so they wouldn't get kicked out. So I had to find a way to do 3 laps in that car for $15,000. So we did that. And we saved them. And then the next step was, okay, let's put the cars together for the next race. I think it was Barcelona, maybe, something like that. And then I was going to go out. The engineer comes to me and said, Roberto, would you please go out and stop at the back straight? I said, what are you talking about? I think it was Barcelona, if I'm not wrong. I said, why? Well, let me show you something. And he shows me a crack on the rear wing side plates, main plates, about 2 inches long. So if you use this rear wing, it's going to fly off. So please don't. I said, well, can you put another wing? Say, we don't have another one. And we just need to show like we're doing a job. And then eventually we're going to get this fixed. So, okay. So I did a full lap, come back in. I wouldn't stop in the bloody. And I came out of the car and that was it. And then the mechanics were very good friends. And as you say, now I remember they were from Coloni. And I say to them, I said, well, we have a car that might not be a bad car. Why don't we just try to fix this car as best as we can and get one car going, and let's try to qualify this car. I think it would be a great achievement for us. And we worked on that. Imola, we already ready to qualify the car, but we had a bearing seized in the front in pre-qualifying or qualifying, whatever it was. I think it was pre-qualifying. So we fixed that, and then there was Monaco. So I had a very good friend of mine, he was an engineer, and I said, well, let's go to a very tight circuit and make sure this car turns, and Monaco will be okay. So we went to this place in south of Italy. I forgot the name, but it was first, second, third gear only in the Formula One car. It was near south of Rome somewhere.
Not Vallelunga, no.
No. That was north of. It was south. It was a very small place. I remember the owner of the circuit took us for lunch because we went there, you know. It was first, second, third, and the car was good enough for Monaco. In pre-qualifying, we did quite well. And again, Tom, the most pleasure I had in racing is driving to the pits in Monaco. And every mechanic, every engineer on that pit clapping for me. That sensation, it will stay with me forever. It's unbelievable pleasure. And I pre-qualified. And then come the qualifying, I knew I had to save the engine and the tires and everything else in the car. So I waited until the very last moment. And we only really pushed hard in the second qualifying. In my first lap in first qualifying, it was good enough for top 15. People don't realize that. But my first lap, on the beginning of the day, we were one of the first ones to go out. It was good enough for top 15. And that lap kept me on the grid because I never done another lap. People don't realize that. Had I been able to go out in the last 5-10 minutes of the last qualifying session, I would not have qualified last at Monaco. And people don't realize that yet.
They do now.
So it's a fantastic opportunity that I had. So I might not have been a world champion in Formula One, but I beat 4 of the world champions in Formula Atlantics